the first room, where the player spawns in as soon as the game starts. Most of the time, players will stay here until round 5 to gather points, and then leave to open up the map so they can get a better weapon. However, there's a challenge called the first room only, where the player has to stay in the spawn room for the entire game and is not allowed to open up any doors. Most people don't take this challenge too seriously, and for that reason, usually will only make it to round 15 or less, but some people put in the time to get over 50 or even 60 rounds in the first room. I mean, the world record for the highest round in Tag der Toten spawn room is 157. Now, of course, Bo4's first rooms are not as bad, considering most of them are pretty big and you have a lot of stuff to work with. If you don't know, Bo4 added specialists, which are pretty much wonder weapons that the player starts with. How it works is by killing zombies, you fill up the meter to use the specialists, and once it's filled, you can use it. There are also levels for the special weapons, level 1 being the weakest, and all the way up to level 3 being the most powerful. And also, if you played zombies before, you would know that you would start with 2 grenades, and then you would slowly gain 2 grenades over every round. But in this game, you can choose whatever equipment that you'd like, and it recharges over time. The most powerful equipment being wraith fires. When thrown, they create a big area of blue fire that when stepped on by a zombie, will slowly kill them over time. This definitely makes the Bo4 first rooms way easier than something like Bo1, for example. Since on Bo4 as well, you won't automatically have all quick revives renamed to self revives and have Juggernaut built into your health. That being said, this is the first room only challenge on every Black Ops 4 Zombies map. The first map up is Voyage of Despair. Now, what makes this map way easier compared to a lot of the other ones is that there's actually a perk in this first room. So what I chose was stamina up, of course, just so I can run faster and I can run for a little bit longer, because the zombies on this game are obviously probably the most aggressive we've ever seen other than Cold War. You'll also notice that I'm using suppressor on my pistol, which I don't normally do it because it weakens your gun, but the reason I'm using it is because it actually increases your chances of getting a drop, which is pretty useful. Insta-kills, death machines are... wait, what the fuck? The suppressor is pretty good for getting insta-kills, nukes, full powers. They will literally end an entire round in the 20s, which is insane. It just goes to show how overpowered specialists are. Specialist that I chose to run was the Viper and Dragon, and it turns out this is actually the best one, and it is really good. And there's also a little trick you can do where if you shoot it and hold the reload button, you can actually shoot it really fast, which is pretty good. It's awesome that you can do that because you can't really shoot it that fast at level 1 and level 2. Now, what I would do for a strategy is I would just sit up in the top area here. It's pretty easy to train in. I would try to get a full horde up, and then I would pull out my specialists. And the thing is here, you don't want to use the full power of your specialist. You want to wait till it gets to about halfway, then you want to put it away just so you can have your specialist as many times as possible. Because if you don't have your specialist when you get trapped in the corner, you're pretty much effed. And it's pretty much the same thing when you don't have your specialist ready and you just put it away. All you're going to be doing is either shooting the zombies or using your wraith fires if you have any, because using the wraith fires is always going to be faster, because if you didn't know, they can kill on any round. And when you're doing a challenge like this on Bo4, I recommend, unless you're not a high enough level, of course, I recommend you get the Mog 12 with good attachments or the SOG, because starting with either of those weapons are really good and they can help you kill the bosses. If you're ever planning on doing a first room challenge, you pretty much have to know this. It's vital information. So if you shoot a zombie on Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, I'm pretty sure Cold War and the older games, it will pretty much stun the zombie for a second, basically making him not able to hit you, so you can run past him if you think the zombie's gonna hit you. It's especially important to know this on Bo4 because you regenerate health way too slow, to the point where if you get hit too many times, like 2 times, you might be effed. But after about 40-50 minutes, I finally made it to round 30. If you compare this to something like Bo3, it usually takes you like an hour to get round 30 in the first room, so this is crazy. Moving on to 9, which is definitely one of the easiest ones that you can do because you get a Pack-a-Punch Strife from the 3 challenge, is that you can complete But the only problem is you have to restart until you get the challenge where you can kill 10 zombies or 15 zombies with your special weapon, because if you get the other one where you have to slide in a trap, that's undoable, of course, in the spawn room. So as you see here, I get the right challenge and I'm able to get a pack-a-punch strife, which really helps out, of course, even though it gets mighty weak because it's only pack-a-punch once instead of normal 5 times. So you have to do like massive amounts of damage in this game. It's still better than just an unpack-a-punch strife. This map also does have a type of dog round with the gladiators and the brawlers and the tigers. It makes it a little easier. They do get really hard to kill later on in rounds because they spawn in so many times. Once you get to the 20s, it's actually ridiculous. One of the things that I do dislike about the Chaos maps is the Blight Fathers, man. Oh my gosh. They spawn in, they don't spawn in that frequently, but when they do, the only way to kill them is actually to use the special weapon, which is annoying. Also, you see another problem with this first room is the fire. Even though you get all this OP stuff in this first room, the fire can really fuck. So yeah, I ended up getting to round 30 plus on 9, but I ended up dying here because the fire just wouldn't go away. Plus, it just takes way too long for you to heal in this game. So I ended up downing on round 34. And I also just realized I forgot to show my down or how I died on Voyage, so let me show that right now. So basically what happened was I got trapped in a zombie here. I had no more self-revives left, and then I just died. There's nothing I could have done. That's basically how I died in Voyage. Next up is Blood of the Dead, and you might think this one is bad, which if you train the top area, yes, but the bottom area is so easy to train in, you don't even know. There's not really much about Blood of the Dead. You're just really training around this table here, and you're just making sure to shoot the zombies with the RK7. It's definitely easier to stun the zombies because it is a burst weapon. Round 27, I accidentally used Anywhere But Here. That happened a lot because I do have the number keys on the side of my mouse. So sometimes I'll accidentally press the Gawa gun button, which is 1 for me on Black Ops 3, or accidentally press an elixir button. And yes, I was doing classic elixirs because it is easier, since you can use temporal gift and it will make an insta kill last for a minute, which is insane. On round 32, I had an insta kill where I used temporal gift, so I basically had a free round. I almost died here though, as you saw. Even with an insta kill, I had to pull up my special weapon because they were just spawning in way too fast. I did manage to make it to round 40, which was awesome. It only took me an hour, which was funny. And yes, Brutus does spawn in quite a bit when you're in this first room, but he's not that hard to take care of, considering I'm pretty sure he has a health cap. I mean, I was able to like kill him with only a couple bursts of my RK7, which was kind of funny. But I did end up downing here, so that was Blood of the Dead. But round 40 is pretty good. Classified's up next, and I gotta say this is probably the second hardest, just behind Dead of the Night, because Dead of the Night you literally have like no room to train in. This room is also quite bad with the first room, because the highest round with classic elixirs is only like 39, and then the no elixirs is actually higher at 40 or something. Because there's I don't really know what their strategy is. There's like, they just cut you off from every area, so it's really hard to train this room. All I could really think of for a strategy was just trying to train in the entirety of the first room. But even then, they would come through this door here and cut me off, so I would nearly die half the time, or just actually get cut off. I would use my Wraith Fires most of the time to take out a horde, because obviously shooting them with a gun and then some of them spawning behind me is really risky. So having them all die at once is probably better. But on round 20, I ended up getting stuck from a zombie, couldn't run past him after I tried to shoot him, to stun him for a bit. And I ended up taking it down here. And this was my last quick revive or self-revive. So it was already bad. There was no way I was making it around 30. And I guess I was right, because on round 22, I got stuck on a dog somehow. And then I tried to pop Anywhere But Here, but I had the slowest reaction time ever, and I died in round 22. All right, now here's the fun one. Dead of the Night. This is the one I got the lowest round on, because seriously. Dead of the Night. This is the one I got the lowest round on, because seriously. Dead of the Night. This is vampire spawning, which it makes the game way too difficult to play. Now that being said though, you want to restart until you get the side, well, this side with the strife, because the other side with the Exo Model 07 is just way too hard to train. There's actually no room on that side, so there's a little bit of luck involved with what side you can get. Plus, there's no fast restarting, so if you get the wrong side, you have to spend another 5 minutes getting another game going, so it's annoying. And this is what I mean. The vampire will spawn in, he'll hit you a couple of times, you won't be able to regenerate your health, and then you'll die just like this. It's really annoying. The way I went down was so dumb, I'm not even kidding. I just let the 2 vampires kill me like that. I should have just pulled out my special weapon. I would have been able to make it to 17 or even 18, but I'm just such a genius, right? Now we're coming up on the last 3 for the first room challenge, and now we have Ancient Evil. It's not that difficult. You do have quite a decent amount of space to train in, but as soon as the boss zombie spawns in, oh my gosh. I'll give a quick rundown on how I would start my rounds. So I would always start next to these 2 windows at the back and try to train about a little bit of zombies. If a zombie gets in front of me, of course, I'm going to shoot it so it stuns the zombie and I don't get hit. And then I just bring all of them over here, and then as soon as I get to this middle part, I'll throw a Wraith Fire to kill all the zombies. And if I have my specialist weapon, I'll use that instead. At this point, I already taken 2 downs. I got trapped in the corner by the zombies, and I was trying to use my anywhere over here, but I kind of panicked. I was kind of on pace to get a 30, but because I panicked and didn't pop my anywhere but here in time, I died. Now with Alpha Omega, you might think that this is the first room, and technically it is the spawn room, but the first room specifically states that you're just not allowed to open up any doors, so you're allowed to be in this area. Otherwise, Alpha Omega, the highest round would be like 20 for the world record. I mean, if you had to stay in the first room, it would just be way too hard. Like I said, you do also have dog rounds every 4 to 5 rounds, which is, I did manage to make it to round 30. I should have gone to 31, but for some reason I died with an insta-kill. The last map is Tag der Toten, and like I said, the world record's 157 in this first room. You might think how, but the zombies do have a health cap, so you can kill them on any round. It's just that there's like 2,000 zombies on 150, so rounds were probably taking like 2 hours. But you do have snowballs, which I'm pretty sure can kill on any round if you hit them to the head. And then, of course, you always have your OP stuff. Another main reason why this first room is so easy is because when the zombies go in the water, it slows them down by a huge margin. If, like, for example, I'm assuming, I don't know how people even get through, like, rounds past when they get super sprinters. But I'm pretty sure if a super sprinter goes in the water, it slows them down to just a regular sprinter. But I honestly don't even know. I've only gotten to super sprinters a couple of times, and they're just so aggressive. This is an exact example of what you should not do when you have no self-revives. Then again, I got round 30, so I was happy anyways. But I just got absolutely melted by the Bo4 zombies. No, I actually came up with an outro this time, so